Hello, everyone, and a very good evening, and a big thank you to all of you for joining us. I'm Afsha Kansal, and I'm going to be your MC for the evening today. Today, we have the privilege of seeing some of the industry's brightest lights and their innovations that promise to combat climate change. We will hear pitches from 12 innovating teams who were selected of 25 submissions that came through. So prepare yourself to be captivated by their innovations. These audacious individuals want to reshape our future with their ingenious and scalable solutions. They offer us the chance to revolutionize the way we construct and operate our buildings. But remember, it's not just about winning the challenge today evening. Each and every one of these visionary exhibitors is driving change towards a sustainable future. So brace yourselves for a dazzling display of brilliance and ingenuity. I hope they leave you inspired and motivated this evening. Our jury today for the Climate Smart Innovation Award have a deep expertise and passion for sustainability. They spend their waking hours hunting for innovation that they can implement in their work to bring a change in the larger spectrum of climate. Please give a thunderous round of applause to the jury and the many members present today to take us through the evening. So big round of applause, please. It's also my honor to welcome today amongst us Guru Prakash Shastri, the Associate Vice President at Infosys, Buildings and Infrastructure Team, and Priya Nair, the Construction and Design Lead at Infosys. So can I have another quick round of applause for... Thank you, everyone. So without much further ado, I'm going to kickstart by calling on stage the first 6 teams who are going to be presenting for the evening. As I take the names of the presenting teams, I request you to start coming on stage and occupying your seats on my right-hand side, and then we'll start in a juggle of one team to the other, right? So the first 6 presenters for the evening include the Ant Studio, Green Building Materials and Technology, E-Waste Social Private Limited, Gangotri Energy Projects Private Limited, Green Jams Build Tech Private Limited, and lastly, the Infinite Uptime India Private Limited. I think they call for a very, very big round. I think this is the way we motivate all of them to bring out the best. So presenters, are all of you ready? Great. So I'm just going to reiterate a few things. You are going to have 3 minutes to make your presentation. You're going to hear me give you a few signals so that you can be well in time. At 2.5 minutes, I'm going to give you a knock like this. I hope that's audible to all of you. And I'm going to repeat this knock at the end of 3 minutes, so I don't have to be the one who abruptly stops you, but please take that as a signal to wrap up wherever you are if you haven't already wrapped up. So that's going to be how we run this entire cycle. At the end of each presentation, the jury is going to have the chance to ask you one question. And again, you'll have only 1 minute to give an answer. At the end of that 1 minute, you're going to hear me repeat that particular sound. So please keep your ears towards the sound as well. So the first team that I'm going to call upon stage to start the presentation, Mr. Munish Siriparu and Pranjal Maheshwari from the Ant Studio. Can you please come up on stage? So as stated, you're going to have 3 minutes and your time starts now.
Hi, this is Monish. We have been working with this, the Beehive and the idea for a few years now. And I'm going to play a video, I think, that gave us tons of energy in the last couple of weeks. So, sorry. How do I play this? It's not playing the video. Can you click on the video, please? There's no video. Can we come back later? Sure.
Okay, I think we'll have to give them some time. There's a technical glitch. So I move on to my second team. Can I please call on stage Neelam Manjunath from the Center for Green Building Materials and Technology. A big round of applause for her, please.
Hello everyone. It's really nice to be here at such a, at the Infosys campus, which is a really, I think my time starts now.
I think he's just setting up, maybe a couple of seconds. Let's see your home screen here and then. Yeah.
This works, I mean, just...
Yes, Neelam, it works. You'll have 3 minutes as stated and your time starts now.
Okay, so we are the most populous country in this world officially now, and we will be probably building in this part of the world till 2050 and beyond. We'll be having the most amount of construction, and concrete is also going to be a part of it. And as we all know, I think concrete is the second most used material after water across the world. And we have to house these people, the people who are going to be there. And what we are doing is about 40% of emission. And what we are trying to do in green buildings is about 5%. So that's not really enough. And there's one more point, that wherever we have more population, we also have more bamboo, because it's also in the tropical and subtropical belt. And that gives us this solution of using bamboo as the material of the future. It was a material of the past, but also is material of the future. And a lot of work, I think, is going by itself. And through this, we can also have these 3 Ps, the advocacy from proof of concept. My own office, I'm working under it for the last 12, 13 years. That's a proof of concept. And the BFRC that we are talking about, I think I will go back just one. What is BFRC? Bamboo Fiber Reinforced Concrete. Steel, bamboo is more tensile, has more tensile strength than steel, and more compressive strength than concrete. So once we use bamboo as reinforcement and also bamboo fiber, instead of steel fiber in my bamboo, I get better compressive strength, I get better tensile strength, I also get better flexural stiffness. And that gives us a very high strength concrete for a much lesser value, because we are reducing steel, we are reducing all that, and our foundations are lighter. So we are really working on something which can be done we can have a large impact, because across the population, across the world, I think it's going without even me touching. But so, anyway, so this is how I want to, we can have collaborations with RMC people, we can have green concrete with bamboo fiber. We can also have collaborations with people who use bamboo splits as reinforcement, which can be more like a mechanically produced or mechanically finished bamboo splits, which can be sold just like we have steel in the market for similarly for bamboo. And I have been working with the governments to really do that for a long time. And similarly, again, we can use bamboo for our beams and columns, especially for our small and medium scale constructions, especially in the bamboo rich areas. And I think in last year, in COP27, American Express has taken at the COP27 bamboo in building construction to be one of the top 10 solutions that is there. And that's what bamboo is about. And so this innovation that I'm talking about, bamboo reinforced concrete, will really go a long way in giving the Pakka house that our Prime Minister has been talking about, the made in India, but also a Pakka house with green concrete and absolutely at a low cost, traditional knowledge and everything else, and having people, planet and profit, all three, the triple bottom line of sustainable construction and sustainable good development goals within its framework. Thank you so much.
I think you should keep that. A question from the jury will follow now.
Okay.
The mic. Can I please request the jury to ask their question?
Hi.
Hi.
I just want to ask you that in a large-scale construction, will the sourcing of this and the treatment as well as stacking of this, that be a concern?
Not really, because see, there are a lot of now methods available where we can do large-scale, treatment of bamboo that is under pressure treatment, and those things are available. It can be done, and we have bamboo. We are the bamboo-rich country actually, not really properly, you can say, managed, and that really needs to be done. Those things are there, but it's not there that the bamboo is not there. We are the largest bamboo producing country, second to China, and the maximum amount of bamboo plantation under any kind of, that is, we are the first, number one in the world. And so that's how, like, we have bamboo. They are not managed properly. We do need policy interventions, but it is definitely possible if we have companies like Infosys and other people and BIS and NBC, if they take, and I am targeting with Council of Architecture as well, and engineering, civil engineering consulting people. I'm working with them and trying to get this into something there. I'm working for the C40 Women for Climate program, under which I'm working for bamboo, mainstreaming bamboo for construction for Bangalore, which can also have that bamboo also is grown in Bangalore in the degraded areas and the lake beds and the Rajkaluways. So it's a phytoremediation, so we get better water. And this also grows very fast, so we'll get air pollution, which will be fixed. And we'll have material within that Bangalore limits, because we have a lot of where things can be done. So this is like a cyclic thing, which we can really work. I'm working on that model. If I'm able to get through, and I'm sure it will get through, we can also extrapolate that to different countries, cities and places. So there will be material available.
Thank you so much, Neelam.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
I'll have to cut you there.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thank you. Next, may I please call on stage Iram Maimunov from E-Waste Social Private Limited. So you have 3 minutes and your time starts now.
Hi, my name is Iram and I'm the co-founder for E-Waste Social, where we are making waste recycling simple, monetizable and traceable. So out of the 50 million tons of electronic waste generated and 5 billion tons of textile waste generated, only 15 to 20% gets recycled. What happens to the remaining? It either ends up in the landfill or into the hands of underage children for dismantling, and which is bad for the environment and the ecosystem. What were companies doing before E-Waste Social? Corporates and industry generating recyclable waste would connect with middlemen, which in turn would connect with recyclers, and you would get paid a nominal amount after the material inspection in numerous time. There was a problem for tracking of waste, and also there was no sustainability or impact report or the knowing of the life cycle of the waste. At E-Waste Social, we have a simple 3-step solution where we connect corporates generating recyclable waste directly to a registered recycler, thereby ensuring that you get value for waste and also you get the impact and the sustainability report. Our solution is simple and easy to use both by the corporates and the recyclers. We want to make waste recycling as simple as buying products online. Our revenue streams are 10% of transaction fees from the corporate after the successful selling of the waste. We charge a subscription fees from the recycler and the consultancy fees for EPR and the recycling plants. Our go-to-market strategy is direct sales, digital marketing, and referrals. We are also looking for strategic partners from manufacturers who want to achieve their extended producer responsibility, government agencies, facility management companies, and we are also partner with United Nations Global Compact. Our personas for the companies that we are looking are environmentally conscious and compliance driven. We ensure that whatever waste you have generated gets recycled in the most appropriate way. And also you get the best value for it. So far, we have 150 plus recyclers on our platform and 100 plus refurbishers. We have done close to 450 transactions with close to 200 companies onboarded on our platform. We are helping companies achieve UN SDG 12, 11, 13, and 17. We are also working on textile recycling and solar panel recycling, which are in pilot stages in Karnataka. Our vision is for circular economy, resource optimization, and preventing women and underage children from dismantling waste in the informal sector. We want to reimagine the waste because we believe that the recyclable waste, what you have in your backyard, is the easiest way to be sustainable. Thank you. We are looking for partnership and collaboration, and if anybody is interested to join our team, we would be happy to have them.
I'm going to hand it over to the jury now to ask their question.
Yeah, hi Iram.
Yeah, hi.
It's a wonderful initiative, no doubt. Now with the increased focus on compliance and reporting that all the corporates are being mandated, and it will get more and more stringent going forward. The focus should also be on what happens at the end of life stage for all the waste. You are connecting with the recyclers, but how do you plan to make sure that it is actually recycled in the right way? What are the controls that you have put in place?
So we have a 12-step stringent policy to onboard a recycler. We also keep a check on their passbooks, wherein, like, you know, what was the metal, like what was the waste which went to them and how much recovery happened in their premises. We check their annual data on a regular basis, and that we re-verify with the state and the Central Pollution Control Board. So these are the measures which we check in, and on the basis of that, we also create a impact and the sustainability report as to, in case if you have given your material to a refurbisher versus a recycler, what is the impact that you were able to create? Or what was the life cycle of your waste? Where all it went, which recycler it went from, where there it went to which vendor. So all of this, we map it, and if required, we can give it to you.
Thank you, Ram.
Yeah, thank you.
Next, I'd like to call on stage Ashish Vaishnav from Gangotri Energy Projects Private Limited.
Very good evening to you all, ladies and gentlemen. And I would like to thank the organizer of SDI for selecting us and allowing us to pitch for waste. That's what we are in. Well, this conference is also talking about handling a mountain of a problem, and that's sustainability. Well, human habitations are what we have been discussing for the whole day. Buildings and townships growing by the day, and how we make them sustainable for our earth to survive. And most of the places, the developers are very keen to add features like golf courses, swimming pools, and based on this, even meditation halls now on this, and trying to bring a township within the boundaries of the township so you don't have to go out. But alongside this, what is happening? Humans are inhabiting these, you and me. And with this, we are also generating a humongous amount of solid waste. The food and the packaging, the Amazons, all this comes out. And this is the mountain which is growing even faster and taller than the other one. So what are we going to be doing about this? This conference has not been talking about this. Well, we have to find a solution. And so far, as you know, we are all living in cities, urban environments. We are all very happy to push the waste outside our boundary limits. Like someone mentioned just now, someone will pick it up, but we don't know what's the end of life. Because we all hear in newspapers every day that centralized solutions, there is no waste to energy plant, there's no great biogas plant coming. Bangalore city has shut down many plants. So where does the waste travel? In fact, the waste is traveling more than you and me every day, and without any value being added. It ultimately travels kilometers, chains of hands multiple times, and leads to landfills. Well, do we have a solution then? Well, we add the D to the centralized and make this circular and sustainable. How do we do it? Well, let's also look within here. And by looking within, we mean we handle the waste within the premises of townships, where instead of taking it out, we build plants which are manageable within the premises and unlock the potential through biogas, through recycling and pelleting. The energy value is unlocked and used in boilers and chillers for cooling as energy. So let's cross out the centralized and welcome the green decentralized. How do you unlock the value, the impact, the environmental and sustainability? The nuisance is eliminated, the fugitive machine goes, and the social, there's an employment generation. The rack picker becomes a urja data. My waste becomes my responsibility, and the governance and compliance to the SWM 2016. Well, thank you very much. Sorry I have to miss by a few seconds. Thank you so much. We'll be happy to answer any question, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Ashish. Hello. It's a good initiative, no doubt. My only question would be, how do you ensure you get this waste to the treatment facility, segregated waste to the treatment facility? That's the collection and segregation is a huge problem today. How do you plan to address that?
I will also first try to, tickle upon our conscience. We are all the generators. So let's not keep us out of the picture here when I answer this question. The moment we say segregation at source, we are the first people who are the culprits if we don't do it. And that's the first step, whether it will reach in a segregated form. So when we are doing in townships, there are now housekeeping companies, everyone who are very clear that they don't pick up the waste from the house if it's not segregated. There's a lot of awareness happening. So doing it at this stage will ensure that the first step itself, Gangotri is at source. Same way, at source you are able to get the pure water till it reaches Prayag. So we don't let it reach to Prayag, we get segregated waste. So Ganga is remaining pristine. So that's what will ensure, and that's what will ensure that the wet waste can go into a biogas, segregated dry waste can go to recycler, and then unlock the values of the pallet. Thank you. And we have done it. We can share with you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call on stage Varun Jami from Green Jams Built Tech Private Limited. A big round of applause, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. I am Varun, co-founder of Green Jams. Back in 2014, we asked ourselves a question: what if buildings could help reverse climate change? After 5 years of R&D and over 300 plus trials, we created Agrocrete, the world's first verified carbon negative building material made up of crop residues such as rice straw, sugarcane bagasse, cotton stalks, and ashes and slags from the steel and power industry. Agrocrete has no cement, no sand, and no virgin materials. but it behaves just like concrete. Agrocrete is a patented technology already granted in India and pending in 9 jurisdictions across the world. It has been certified by CBRI Roorkee, BMTPC, and the claim of carbon negative is third-party verified and published in the international EPD system. When you look at Agrocrete, it's a versatile concrete-based material, but currently we have introduced in the form of hollow blocks, which is suitable for all kinds of structures. We can do low-rise to high-rise buildings, commercial, industrial, as well as residential applications. It's tested in accordance to IS 2185, and the results are outstanding. It has a minimum strength of 5 MPa, a life of 75 years, 13% water absorption, density of only 800 kg per meter cube, a best-in-standard U value of 1.3 watt per meter square Kelvin, and excitingly, has a negative cradle-to-cradle embodied carbon. We make this happen because of the biogenic carbon that is captured by the crop residues that we are mineralizing over time using an advanced alkali activation chemistry. Agrocrete is enabling real estate developers and builders to reduce the cost of construction by 50%, increase the insulation of the building by 3.5 times, and make buildings carbon negative. For every 3 lakh square feet of construction, we're able to capture 1,080 tons of CO2, prevent 3,500 tons of CO2 emissions from occurring, save 1.8 crores in construction cost. Additionally, we're also solving one of the biggest issues for air pollution, which is crop residue burning. Almost 2 billion tons of crop residues are discarded annually across the world improperly. Because of utilizing these crop residues, we're preventing the stubble burning incidents to occur. And because of a very interesting franchise-based business model, we're able to achieve 9 out of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. We are Green Jams, and we're turning buildings into carbon sinks. Thank you so much.
Over to the jury.
Hi. My question would be that in case there's a new setup which needs to be done for a project, what would be the timeline that would be required to set up as well as to source your raw materials?
The sourcing of the raw materials is rather easy. There is abundance.
As a follow-up of that question, how do you also ensure quality or consistency of your material if you have a franchise model where a certain type of crop residue or something is not available?
Right. So the crop residues, it can be anything fibrous in nature. We can use rice straw, sugarcane bagasse, cotton stalks, soybean stalks. That gives us abundance of source of raw materials in that sense. In India, almost 600 million tons are generated. If I were to convert this entire thing, I would become a bigger company than Apple itself. In terms of setting up a factory, we require 1 acre of land. We recommend a minimum capacity of 3,000 blocks per shift. The setting up the factory takes us only 3 months, right from get-go to having the finished product in the markets. That means I can start selling. It takes us only 3 months of time. The entire equipment is manufactured and fabricated within the country itself, making it very easy for us to procure. There are more than 1,200 plus fabricators within the country who can make it to our specifications. On the quality control front, we work with franchisees with a strict quality control procedures. We give them standard SOPs that they have to follow strictly. It's also interesting is that the industry has their own testing procedures that they follow. In case the blocks don't meet the standards, they usually come back with the issue. And the franchisees are therefore responsible for that, so because of which they follow the quality control standards parameters properly. In addition to this, we use hydraulic-based equipment, which allows us uniformity in the entire production process too. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Varun. Next, I'm going to call on stage Akhilesh B. Tiwari and Swapnil Pawar from Infinite Uptime India Private Limited. Guys.
Good evening all my friends. Thank you jury members and the organizer for providing us this platform to showcase and represent our company Infinite Uptime India Private Limited. As the name itself defines, we are committed to digitize our core industries by providing them the highest level of uptime with the help of our machine diagnostic system. So as you can see, we are like half-decade old company as well as young company. We are already having a footprint of across the globe with 305 number of customers already installed base. with 19,200 of monitoring location and 10,000 plus unplanned downtime has been saved by our solution. So with the help of our purely IIoT based predictive maintenance solution, we not only digitize our all the assets of the industry, but we do also provide the energy management solution, which helps them to notify and quantify how they can help to maintain their environment clean.
Okay, so I will talk about little bit about technology, what we are doing. So as you can see here that there is an asset in place which is denoted by letter M, and there are two solutions which are associated to that asset. One is condition monitoring and one is energy monitoring. So a solution of condition monitoring basically talks about the health of the equipment. So we require machine to be working in a perfectly fine condition, because we understand that if machines in the industry do not work in perfectly fine condition, they try to consume more energy based on the severity of the fault. And second solution is basically the energy monitoring solution, which talks about how the energy is consumed by a particular equipment. As you can see, both the solutions are installed on a machine. Then the data, whatever we get, we have two types of data. One is the discrete data, which tells you the severity, and one is the data which is a time series data, which tells you that what is bad happening with your system. So all that data is transmitted wirelessly through access point. That data goes to our cloud. In that cloud, several data models have been in place. Event processing takes place, and this is the part where the final products comes out of it through our cloud. But this is not the place. Just a minute. This is the one part, but we have a dedicated team as well. The team of experts will analyze the data, which does the hand holding with our customers as well. Okay. Moving on. And these are few numbers which we want to highlight, that what is the amount of reduction as well as the downtime saved. You can see that there is an energy reduction as well as downtime saved.
So by looking after the greenhouse solution, greenhouse building and reducing the CO2 emission, one of the biggest chunk what most of the people not ignoring, but there is no quantifying solution that how it has to be reduced. So we have came up with the solution to reduce all these extra wastage of energy with the help of our precise predictive maintenance solution and machine diagnostic solution, with clubbing with our beta energy management solution. So that was all about our solution. Very happy to answer the question.
Just had one question. This is mainly about rotating equipment, motors, right, that you're talking about. So in the long run, what do you plan to do? How do you plan to adapt when motors are getting, maybe you're looking at permanent magnet motors which hardly have any vibration or external parameters that that can tell you how efficient or any deviation is happening. How do you plan to address that?
Yes, so to answer that, first of all, induction motors are not going anywhere pretty soon. Second part of the question is that even if a vibration is low, the absolute value of vibration does not matter to us. It is the progression that we track. So from good to bad, whatever is the progression that we track, and based on the severity of the progression, we decide what needs to be done. Because we do not, based on absolute value, we do not encourage people to do over maintenance as well, because that is again the consumption energy. Doing the maintenance, but at the right time, is the perfect solution, the sweet spot that we are focusing on.
And to adding that, we also have a piezoelectric sensors which can take care of the very, very minute kind of vibration, as well as with very high RPM like turbines and all. So all these can be taken care by our solution.
Thank you so much, Akhilesh and Swapnil.
Thank you.
At this point, I'm going to have to request the audience to please give us 2 minutes to go back to the first presenter and resolve the technical glitch that we were facing, so that with that we can finish the series. So just 2 minutes for any of you to ease in out a bit, and I'll be back. Oh, you guys are done? My team's damn quick. They didn't give me the instruction as quick as that. Well, I think we're ready, guys. So sorry. Can I please have on stage once again Munish Siripurapu and Pranjal Maheshwari.
Thank you very much, SDI and Infosys, for having us here. So this is a project that we have been working for the last many years and trying to see how we can actually take it and find different use cases for this. And the video that I'm going to play right now is taken 2 weeks back by the client and sent it to us. And I must say that this gave us actually a lot of energy to even work more on this. Can you please just play this?
सर टाइम हो रहा है 12:10 और ये जो AHU के लिए सर टाइम हो रहा है 12:10 और ये जो AHU के लिए टेराकोटिंग सिस्टम बनाया है इसका जो एम्बिएंट टेम्परेचर इस टाइम शो कर रहा है यह है 33.9 और जो सेंसर जो इसके अंदर लगाया है फिल्टर के पास उसका आ रहा है 19.8 डिग्री और इसका सेंसर ये देखो सर अंदर लगा रखा है बिल्कुल अंदर बिल्कुल फिल्टर से चिपका के लगा रखा है और टेराकोटिंग यहां पे खत्म हो रही है इधर की तरफ सर
So, I mean, that has been a journey because this terracotta, what we did, while we are trying to actually figure out a lot of cases where we can take it to buildings, make cool walls and all of that, there are definitely some challenges that come with, places because there is a lot of, there is spillage of water and it might not be applicable in buildings, in most of the places. So, but still we are trying to see what's the best use case scenario. So that was definitely, we are thankful that it came out and then it gives us a lot of confidence. But then that's not enough, as in, so we wanted to actually take it to buildings. I think that has been the whole idea. How do we try and take it to building envelopes and see if we can actually make an impact with the same idea? So we came up with these aerofoils, which are these, the fins. There was a prototype also as an exhibit. And the idea behind this is that when we actually walk under a tree, we find a drastic drop in temperature, which is not the case when we walk under a metal roof or any other roof, as you take any concrete roof. And one of the primary reasons being evapotranspiration that you have under the trees, which is, evaporative cooling, which one gets in, because of which it's very commonly used in building construction for cooling and all that. So if we can use this fins to have the water inside rather than flowing it outside, that was the main idea. What we thought is that in the other case, what we're not able to solve is the water is dripping on all over. So the smaller capsule that you see retains water and it is evaporated from the surface of this fins. And the idea is that in this particular case, we do not have control on the orientation of buildings, unfortunately. The sites we have limited. But with this, we can set the orientation of this fins. We can adjust the spacing. There is also nozzle effect that is created because of the geometry of these the fins that are there. And most importantly, the evaporative cooling. So yeah, that was the idea that we wanted to explore, and this is what it is. So these are the prototypes, what we had done. And these are some of the projects that we're working on right now. Thank you.
Hi. I just have two questions. How do you determine the extent of these aeroprofiles to be there? That's one question. Second is that does it have a concern because you have always water running through this profile and then the dampness, does it create a concern?
Not at all. Actually, both the things are taken care because we are using basically analysis to determine what is the extent to which we can actually do and what's the impact. Especially we are proposing on the southern and western facades where the maximum radiation is coming. So this also acts like a shading device that cuts off the direct radiation. You can cut it off and it works without water as a purely shading device. You don't have to put water all throughout the day. It is something that you can work with the seasons, with a part of the day it's in our control, and the water that I said is retained inside. And talking about that explains the extent part of it. And the dampness, this is acting like an envelope that is 1 feet away from the building. And the water it's evaporating from the surface. So there is no water that is actually coming out of it. And terracotta being porous, it evaporates from the surface, creating the evaporative cooling. It's similar to an earthen pot, and it smells really nice. But it is not connected to the building at all. So that way it takes care of the dampness.
So does it act as a secondary facade?
Yes.
So you will definitely be having inside another facade and through which a window or a large opening would be there, through which the air would be flowing.
Absolutely. That's what we are trying to do because in most of the current buildings, the modern buildings, in some of the cases that we have shown just now, the idea is that, we want to take these traditional systems onto modern buildings. And it is a big challenge because if you want to do it in this particular case, so this acts like a skin that is protecting the building from the weathering conditions and stuff.
Does it add as a secondary facade, add as an additional cost to it?
So the cost of this is, definitely yes, it adds additional cost to it. But then compared to all the other systems that are there, this is quite affordable.
Okay,
That's pretty
thank
much.
you.
So with that, we come to the end of the first half of the presentations. I'm going to thank all the different teams who joined us on stage, and I request you to please take your seats back in the audience now. Moving on, we have 6 more teams amongst us today, and I'd like to start welcoming all of you. The pattern's going to be very similar. As I take your name, please feel free to come up and join us here for your presentations. First, we have the National Institute of Engineering, Center for Renewable Energy and Sustainable Technologies. Plus Advanced Technologies Limited. Respiro Living Sciences, Ecosys Soluble System Private Limited, Sust Labs, and lastly, Watson Envirotech Private Limited. Thank you. Are all the presenters ready? Can we move ahead? So the rules remain very similar, but I just reiterate myself. Each one of you gets 3 minutes. At the end of 2.5 minutes, I make a noise like this. This is to indicate that you have just another 30 seconds left, and I repeat that noise in another 30 seconds. So I'd respectfully like you to please start ending your presentation. Followed by the 3 minutes presentation, you'll have the jury ask you one question, which you can answer in 1 minute. And at the end of the minute, the sound repeats itself. So very quickly, I'm going to start calling on stage the next team. May I please have on stage Shyam Sundar Subaru from the National Institute of Engineering, Center for Renewable Energy and Sustainable Technologies. A big round of applause for him, please.
Good evening all. I am Shyam Sundar Subrao from National Institute of Engineering. I am presenting here portable microgrids for gated communities, net zero building, EV charging and remote village electrification. India, we have 1.4 billion people and the automobiles go up to 320 million automobiles. And the energy consumption is around 1,500 terawatt hours with 300 to 400,000 megawatts of energy that is produced. And we are the 3rd largest producer of carbon emission in the world, which is going up to 3.9 billion tons we clocked last year. But we also have an ambition of becoming a country with net zero by 2070. So if we have that not only ambition, the target of making the country net zero by 2070, which is the main sector where we have to address, the energy sector, the mobility sector. Today, most of the energy generated is centralized and it is from coal. Here we present this microgrids, which is decentralized and it is by the people. We call in Kannada Namma grid. It's our grid. So it is powered by all renewable energy sources. You can take the energy from wind, we can energy from biomass. India is going in a big way in biofuels, biodiesel, biogas, bio-CNG. We have the ambitious plan of Satat by Government of India. We can use all these fuels which are locally generated. It can be for sustainable and net zero buildings, remote electrifications, remote islands, and all gated communities. And these portable microgrids can be moved from one place to another, and it can be put in any gated communities or in the villages, and it can have multiple inputs from all the renewable energy sources and multiple outputs. For example, I can charge an electric vehicle by a microgrid which is 100% green. If I charge an electric vehicle by putting it to the electric socket, mind it, 60% of energy is coming from coal. It's not clean fuel. But here, you put it in your local area, put local energies in. It can be biofuel or biodiesel or biogas or solar, and you can prioritize depending on the location. In a location, if solar is more, it will decide. It will decide on the lowest producer of
Many
carbon.
remote places in India, though claim to be electrified, face undeniable reliability issues. Remote places at Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep Islands, hamlets of Leh Ladakh and other remote villages are yet to be electrified. Providing centralized power generation by extending the grid requires huge capital and can lead to degradation of the environment for development of the infrastructure required. Addressing this problem, the Center for Renewable Energy and Sustainable Technologies at the National Institute of Engineering, Mysuru, has designed and developed a portable microgrid which runs on clean fuels. It is an independent, democratic, decentralized portable grid well suited for remote applications.
So using this, we want to go to the target of net zero by 2070. I want that this should be a policy, and each and every building should be a net zero building by using our Namma grid, that's portable microgrid. Thank you very much.
Yeah, just one question. What is how scalable is it? What's the maximum capacity you are planning?
It is scalable up to 100 kilowatts, no issues. But the thing is, if I go beyond 100 kilowatts, I want to call it as a mini grid. If it is a microgrid, it is from 1 kilowatt up to 100 kilowatt. It is 100% scalable to the extent required.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks, sir.
Next, we have Vishnu Sasidhar from Plus Advanced Technologies Limited. A very big round of applause for him, please, everyone.
Good evening, all. My name is Vishnu Sasidharan, and I represent Plus Advanced Technologies. Our innovation helps minimize thermal loss and capture free cooling available in nature, thereby reducing energy demand by up to 30%. By using thermal energy storage materials. We apply phase change materials to capture latent energy storage, which is a very high energy density packed in a small footprint. With variations of chemical compositions, phase change materials can be designed to work at different temperatures and depending on various performances that you want. So these are repeatable up to 10,000 cycles, and you can design it for any temperature that you would want. And I would like to take an analogy of PCMs with batteries. Like battery is to electrical energy, PCMs are for thermal energy. And some simplest form of example is water. Water turns to ice at 0 degrees Celsius, while we are emulating that property at different temperatures. One of the biggest problems faced by designers for HVAC systems is to minimize thermal loss. And what we see here is that almost 30% of the HVAC systems are oversized by 30%, and up to 30% is an additional thermal loss that is accounted for. So can we reduce this 30%? Using false ceilings, ceiling tiles made of phase change materials on false ceilings, we have seen that we can add up to 30% of the cooling load which would have otherwise got lost. These these act as thermal mass, which in effect offers a thermal inertia inside the room, which means that it tries to maintain the temperature at a steady temperature for a longer period of time, thereby reducing your compressor cycling time, your fan coil units switching on, switching off. It prolongs the overall duration. So overall, this product costs about 2,000 rupees per square meter, and it can store up to 50 watts per square meter. And what we have seen is approximately about 20 to 30% of the total load in a span of 12 hours can be stored in this material. So in effect, if you can cover this material inside the building envelope, it can act as a very, very efficient thermal mass. So additionally, the PCMs also provide a benefit of differences in the time, temperature difference between a night and day, where we have applied this largely in Europe and certain parts of India where temperature differences are up to 15 degrees Celsius. So there you can actually flush in the outside air, store it in the PCM and use it for in the daytime to reduce the energy. Someone asked me if we were to design a perfectly insulated building without any internal equipment load, no transmission load, no leakages, would we require air conditioning? I said, ideally, no. That makes us ponder. So in our goal, in our approach to reach net zero, I feel we are using PCMs to achieve the net zero goal. Thank you.
So sorry I've had to do that.
Yeah, my question is, the applicability is a little bit of, might be an issue if, for example, if you don't have a false ceiling. Nowadays, many places, if you're targeting offices, for example, you don't have a false ceiling. What do you plan to do? And also, is there any other surface that you're targeting, like walls, which can be nearer to the occupants where the cooling is required?
Yes, that is one of the challenges. So there are different form factors of PCM containers that we are working on. One of them is micro encapsulation, with which you can actually integrate it with paints, with other solvents, which can be then applied onto the interiors of the walls. There can be other encapsulations which can actually be easily integrated onto the walls. Right now, it is that is a limitation, and we see that the ceiling itself covers quite a lot of square meters. So right now, we are limited to commercial offices and such establishments, not the residents.
Okay. And one correction to the point that you made, if you fully insulate a room with no heat coming inside, would you still require air conditioning? Yes, you would definitely require, because you have internal loads, you have people emitting heat, you have lights, you have equipment.
True, true, you're right. And I mentioned that, if there is no human load. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, Vishnu. Next, I'd like to call Kevin Joshi from Respiro Living Sciences.
Hi, good evening. From our exhibition center to a more relatively comfortable theater center, and then proceeding to the dinner arena. Yeah, we do hope from one building to another and spend significant part of our day inside a building, which is also means that we need to ensure that the indoor air quality within the building is healthier. Apart from the rapid urbanization and the apart from the rapid urbanization, we also need to make sure that these buildings are grid interactive. They are also consuming energy in an efficient manner and considers the grid emissions as well as the electricity cost in its operations. So in short, are we considering that these buildings are more responsive to the outside parameters of carbon emissions to consider and transition towards a more efficient net zero targets? However, if you see real-time data in more granular nature and consider the thermal preferences of the occupants in the building, we can see that these buildings can be more grid interactive in nature and can provide more load elasticity to consider energy cost savings and be interoperable in its nature. Therefore, a granular, data-driven and explainable energy benchmarking will help this energy transition of more energy intensive buildings in a granular way. So our solution is Atmos MAPI, which is an IoT-enabled, interoperable, and energy-efficient indoor air quality monitoring device, which is tested now at Net Zero Energy Building in CEPT University to operate in a well-established functions for energy operations and benchmarking applications. Currently, we can see that the global temperature has a better R-square of 0.99, and you can see the CO2 emissions are also at 0.9954 as compared to a reference grade monitoring station. Thank you.
Over to the jury.
I just have a question that, see, indoor air quality is already being monitored and the data is being given by the BMS sensors also. So my question is, how different is this from that?
So we plan to operate this in terms of independent of a BMS. We just augment the data from an existing BMS to the Atmos MAPI device and supplement it with a software model which explains the energy benchmarking functions and suggests preventive measures in terms of, say, predictive analytics, saying that your PM 2.5 quality has been degrading over time. So it may be better that you look at your HVAC filters in terms of monitoring applications.
But doesn't that duplicating the data come into picture? Because anyway, you already have a indoor air quality monitoring sensors which is there, and BMS is capturing the data and it's also giving the from the command center. You get it. So does this do anything?
It's a hardware plus a software solution. So if there's an existing BMS and an EQ monitoring station, then can only explain, and an explainable model can be used to suggest the preventive actions. If there's a deficit of there's only a BMS, we can augment a real Atmos MAPI device to provide the indoor air quality parameters and then proceed with the rest.
So it can be integrated to any.
It can be integrated to any BMS. It is interoperable and it's a plug and play model. If we can have only software and hardware components as well.
Okay, thank you.
The relation with energy efficiency did not come out clearly. Was there?
Yes. So So what the MAPI solution, it's not only a hardware monitoring of indoor air quality, it's also a software solution which integrates with the other grid factors. For example, your grid emissions. It also takes care of the demand response programs as well. So if you want that your load, if you have enough load elasticity within the building, it can take care of the automating and scheduling your loads in terms of participating in the grid response and demand response programs.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thanks.
Next, I'd like to call on stage Sumit Goyal and Godfrey Lobo from Ecosys Soluble System Private Limited. A big round of applause for everyone.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, SDI and Infosys, for giving us the opportunity. I'm Sumit Goyal, co-founder of Ecosys Cleaners. By profession, I'm chartered accountant, but shifted my goals towards sustainability.
Hi, I'm Godfrey Lobo. I head the corporate sales for Ecosys.
So we are here to take away plastic and toxicity from our cleaners, like floor cleaner, bathroom cleaner, multipurpose cleaner and all. Do you know each household generates more than 30 plastic bottles each year on the name of cleaning products? A similar time, corporate clients are also consuming millions of plastic bottles on the name of cleaning products. If I club together, more than 5 billion plastic bottles are dumping to landfills for the plastic.
As you know, recycling is a costly and a time-consuming process. Only 7% of the plastics get recycled, and billions of plastics have been dumped into the ocean and landfills, creating havoc to marine life. In traditional cleaners, there are two major problems. First, it comes in a plastic container like this. As you're aware, it takes 400 years to get decomposed. Secondly, most of the chemicals are toxic in nature, which are harmful to the end users.
So to tackle these problems together, we have launched a small capsule. You can see this capsule like this. So it has the 100% water-soluble capsule, and it has the only active ingredients. As soon as this capsule comes in the context of water, it completely dissolves and becomes 1 liter solution. As we call it, it's a zero-waste concept because it comes in the biodegradable sachet like this. It will be decomposed within 6 weeks into the soil. So as a customer, you don't have to pay for bottle and water, so it's quite cost efficient as well. By using each capsule, you are going to save 360 grams of carbon emission. We are proud to say that we have saved more than 1.6 lakh plastic bottles from entering the landfill by household and the corporate clients, including listed clients as well. Recently, the Better India and Your Stories also recognized our efforts. UN has released one good statement recently that reuse of the plastic is the most powerful shift of the plastic pollution. So while we are waiting for that, let's come together and join the hands to reuse the plastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy to answer any question.
Thank you. Over to the jury.
Yeah, my only input would be there should also be focus to shift to maybe green chemicals, say organic-based chemicals or so on.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, may I have on stage Dinesh Lakshman Kanse and Prasad Palekar from SAS Labs. A big round of applause for him, everyone.
So a very good evening to everyone. So I'm Prasad Palekar from SAS Labs, and we at SAS Labs are inspiring energy efficiency via the global OEMs and the utilities. So what we are doing is we are building a SaaS layer on top of the consumer IoT platform, and this product which we have built, that has been positioned as a Fitbit for homes. So have you ever imagined that the way we are consuming electricity is something similar to our grandparents or someone who was consuming it in 1960s. So we are not having that clarity once we get the electricity bill at the end of the month. So with Home Assistant, what we do is the bot would give you the itemized electricity bill. Over here, what we bring on the table is the bot would be able to tell at what time and which appliance came on in your homes, and that too. And this bot is been deployed in the so it gets deployed in the MCB panel in your home. It gets connected with your home Wi-Fi, and that too without deploying any sensors on individual appliance level. So just by installing one device in the mains MCB panel, the user is able to see the appliance level consumption, like how much is this geyser, AC, washing machine or the refrigerator consuming, and that too by installing one device. So now the similar solution or when the utilities are getting a brief of this data, it is creating an impact for them. They are able to get a clarity on the electrical activity which is happening at the area level or the zone level. They are able to identify what are the detrimental factors affecting the grid level operation. What is the health of the distribution transformer? What is the health of the feeder? Just by using this data, and they have the granularity of from this data. So our GTM, the go-to-market strategy is through licensing partnerships. So currently we have partnered with Schneider Electric and Legro. So the reason why we are partnering with the global OEMs is to commoditize the product and make it even more affordable to the mid of the pyramid. We were recognized by the Mission Innovation for European Commission for having an impact on reducing the carbon footprints globally. The documented saving by Tata Trust has been validated for 17.5%. That's an external validation, but we know internally the number easily goes up to 21%. Yeah, and if we have been using the electricity very efficiently, and if not, then it's time to get an Home Assistant. And with that, thank you. Yeah, happy to answer the questions.
So this solution is more suitable for homes, as I understand.
Yes.
What happens if there is a change in wiring done in the homes for maybe some interior change or whatever, some appliance change? If there is a change in wiring, so will the accuracy still be retained?
Yes, the change in the wiring won't affect the accuracy because, as I mentioned, this device would get installed at the very mains of the incomer in your house, right after the mains circuit breaker. So even if you do the changing at the downstream, it won't affect the accuracy.
You'll be reading the signatures in each phase, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, but that is independent of change in the phase. We are reading the signature, like each and every appliance has a signature. So it doesn't matter it comes from R phase or Y phase or B phase. We are just reading those signatures.
Thank you so much.
Yep, thank you.
Next, may I please call on Chandrasekaran Joshi from Vatsan Envirotech Private Limited.
Yeah, namaste. We all talk about modern gadgets, stuff like solving problems in the cities. But India, unfortunately, has 73% of the people in the rural population who are almost covering 6 lakh villages, and they seldom have good sanitation and water. And that's what the bigger problem is. Even though Har Ghar Jal or Jal Shakti Nirman, all these people are there. When it comes to implementation, it's a sad story that these people are not aware what they drink. So we created a affordable, electricity-free, pathogen, arsenic-free, fluoride-free, and water purifier. Why I am insisting on arsenic and fluoride is none of the RO companies or MNCs ever thought of regional customized water purifiers, because India is similarity, in fact, the whole world can go on and on, that almost 164 countries we have checked up. We are the least costing water purifier in the world, which lasts forever. So we have come out with various variants, starting from the small standalone filter in a village. The filter media is clay candle, which has nano pores, which will not allow the contaminants to pass through. And it will just, you have to only rinse, wash, rinse, wash, rinse, wash, again and again, so that you can use it forever. We have accredited with the premier institutes of the country, like Department of Science and Technology, CSIR and CPET for the food grade plastic. People wonder why plastic. Your blood bags and your saline bags are all plastics. Have you ever asked about this question to those people who are saving your lives? There are food grade plastics molded in CPET, which is the premier institute of the country, and it is done there. We don't go to the traders and dealers. Why? Because they may use regrained plastics, or they may put a brick piece as a candle and they can sell it off. So we have collaborated with all the smallest village entrepreneurs, rural entrepreneurs, self-help groups, small and big NGOs. In fact, all the top big NGOs, you take anybody in Google, they all are my buyers who regularly buy and give it to the last mile. And we have done region-specific arsenic removal, fluoride removal filters as well, because arsenic gives you cancer and fluoride eats away your bone and teeth. In Karnataka, I can tell you, or Raichur has a lot of arsenic, people are not aware. Whole of North Karnataka, Bellary and other places has fluoride. They can't even have a good smile during their weddings because it has eaten, fluoride has eaten away all your bones. We are the only company, I can proudly say, in the whole world for customizing and given water purifiers. We have done close to 4 lakh households pan-India. Even during the floods in Karnataka and Chennai and other things, sorry, Kerala flood, we were the first people to move down there, take the flood water, remediate and give it to them without need of electricity, no wastage of water or no replacement of candles ever. In fact, my daughter is sitting there. I had showed the photos to the people who had come to my stall. She was 8-year kid then. The same water filter we are still using in my own home, and she is 18 today. I am proud to say that my filter lasts forever. And to finish the story of Watson, we have done sanitation toilets using the waste glass fiber dumped by the windmill companies, and we have completely trained the women in the villages to build toilets for the girls who, if they come out of age, they cannot go to the school, they drop out lastly. We have done close to 200 toilets, saving earth. We have saved almost 3 trillion tons of carbon by giving to the 4 lakh households the water purifiers, and my toilets are made completely from the solid waste. So no water is used, no cement is used, no sand is used. We want this to scale up to more people, and we welcome any suggestions on this to take this journey further. Thank you.
You did mention about the hardness. Is that also addressed through this purifier?
Hardness.
Hardness in the water?
Yeah, yes, sir. We are developing nanomaterials. You have to just soak the hard water into that, and it will cut down the hardness, and then you pour it into my filter. All are passive nanomaterials used from organic materials. No chemicals or anything involved. It is purely nanoscience, nanotechnology using natural materials. In fact, the pesticide is another issue. We are coming out with sulfate removal, phosphate removal, ammonia, excess ammonia removal. All are in pipeline. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. A big thank you to everyone who joined me on stage to present. I please request all of you to go and take your seats in the audience now. Can we give all of them a very big round of applause? Students, you guys especially, they've given you so many hints on how to cross-answer tomorrow when the grand jury throws questions at you. It's okay. They're here, but they'll give you the leeway to use these ideas as answers to skip or chicken out of different questions. So, well, thank you to everyone. And I think with this, we've come to a point where we need to give our jury a few minutes to decide who the winner is going to be for today. So, and for the rest of you, please stretch. For those who've been sleeping, I've been spotting a few faces. Please wake up. I'm going to speak to you when we move out of the hall. Thank you. Thank you everyone for bearing with us. The jury's finally made a decision. But we're going to keep the suspense a little bit longer, so it's okay, let some butterflies roll around. Before I ask the jury to come and announce the winners, I have a very special guest amongst us today, and I'm very sorry for having to forget your introduction at the beginning. But nonetheless, we have amongst us Dr. Chaitali Bhattacharya, the Interim Executive Director of the Indo-US Science and Technology Forum, who is also a part of the supervisory group at SDI. It's my privilege to call her on the stage to share a few words and how she felt about all the presentations that she's heard today. So big round of applause for her, please.
I really love this MC. She makes everybody feel so important and so big. Hats off to you. Before I start saying anything, I would first like to really emphasize and, give a big shout out and compliment this entire team of IIHS and AEEE. Sorry, I generally tend to forget it. AEEE, I am 100% sure you would all agree that the kind of, the mammoth group that we are all here managing is not an easy task. So I think they have done a wonderful job. The entire event is pristine. Yes, please. A big shout out to all of them. And of course to Infosys also, who have been so kind enough for supporting in this activity. Coming to the SDI event, the software, the SDI event, the Solar Decathlon, India, all the organizations would agree that, has seen tremendous growth in these few years. It's in terms of the quality as well as in terms of the numbers. So it has been, the aim was not only to have a challenge, it was also, the aim was to kind of have a vibrant ecosystem, an ecosystem wherein we have all the future innovators, the present innovators, the researchers all coming together and kind of forming a beautiful ecosystem who is all going to work together towards the net zero building efficiency thing. And I think you would again all agree that this particular year, I would kind of, attest that they've already gained the purpose, the motto, the objective. There's a lot more to do, but yes, I guess this has been a very successful event at this stage, to my understanding. I'm excited to share that this SDI is the, world's largest solar decathlon in terms of the academic and industry partnership. The quality of entries that we saw during this, this innovative Climate Smart Innovation Award clearly again says that, that the deep involvement of the industry partner in SDI is essential, and it has also been seen. This is a great way for the youngsters to learn from the industry and be ready to join the industry. So this is also important for the net zero building movement. Personally, this award was a very enriching experience for me. It's been almost 2-3 hours that I was along with the juries, and maybe we are to be blamed for making the event a little bit late, but we were so engrossed with looking at the innovations, and if you ask me, I think I would give prizes to everybody. But I think that's not a competitive spirit is all about. There's always one leader. So I really sympathize with the jury members. They have a very difficult task to do, to come up and announce. But again, I feel all of you did wonderful. With this, I would again wish all the best to this net zero community and We have lot more in the other, day to come. So all the best once again. Thank you.
Well, enough with holding our breaths now. I think we finally reached the moment where I'm going to call our jury onto the stage. Can I please have Guru Prakash Shastri and Priya Nair to announce the winners? A big round of applause for the jury, guys.
Good evening, everyone. And the winner is all 12 teams. It was really a wonderful exhibition that we had been to, and it was very difficult for us to choose a clear winner because we are looking at water purifier to blocks to IoT sensors to cleaning chemicals. So how do you compare between these diverse range of products? So it was a very tough task, and I think all of them did really well. I would really ask for a big round of applause to all the presenters, all the 12 participants in this competition. Very well done. And for all the students, I think it's a great learning. You can see how things are developed based on the demand in the industry, based on the demand in the market. And it's very essential for all of us to address the issues of today. And that's what each one of the 12 exhibitors today presented to us. They are solving some very important problems of today, all related to sustainability. How can we reduce materials usage? How can we reduce emissions? How can we reduce energy consumption, and so on, right? So I would definitely compliment the organizing team here, IHS and AEEE, Prasad, Satish, all working overtime for the last, I don't know how many months, 12 months, I don't know. So for putting this together, it also opened a very interesting avenue for us to look at some very good ideas, some innovative ideas coming up from different parts of India. You have anything?
And also it was surprising that many of the points which we have been ignoring, it has also been brought into notice that there is a lot of innovation which could be taken up in those points. So I think students definitely have an open platform ahead to see that in our daily use also there is a lot more innovation which could be done. So I think we should be taking a lesson out of it and taking it ahead. And the way the event has been organized as well as the type of presentations that has come in, it was also really great. I would like to thank everybody for that.
Okay, to announce the winner now. Yeah, so while I would really have liked to have 2 or 3 names there because it was very, very close, but I was told that we can only select one. Rest of them can get some certificates and some photographs, I guess. So the winner is, that's a combined choice that we got. The winner is Green Jams. So I'll also tell just one comment on the one thing that stood out here that got a little bit of an edge is it's a very, very relatable product for the masses, and the opportunity to scale this product is very, very huge with the amount of construction that is going to happen in India over the next 20 years with the rapid urbanization. So that's the reason our choice was Green Gems. Congratulations. Thank you.
You may, if you want to say a few words.
Thank you so much for the award. It really means a lot, and I'm grateful for the recognition. We work very closely with the architects, and it's great to really have that kind of support from the folks here. Looking forward to working a lot more solar decathlon competitions over the last years too, and looking forward to many more. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah, and regarding the campus, I hope you're all enjoying your stay here. It's also an opportunity for all of you students to see the transformation that has happened over 15 years. So this campus was built in the last 20 years. And you can see how the buildings have transformed from a specific language to a completely different language as we developed. So that's something very interesting that you would want to notice during your campus trips. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chetali, Guru Prakash, and Priya for being here today. With that, folks, we reach the end of the day one of the Solar Decathlon India Finals 2023. Tomorrow morning, we get to know the winners for the different divisions who had been participating all day today. So it's indeed a very big day. And at the end, the winner for each of the division gets a chance to present in front of the grand jury. So I'm going to catch up with all of you tomorrow for another incredible day. For now, I'm going to request all of you to go have a good night's sleep. But before that, let's all meet together for dinner. I think which starts at 8 o'clock. Yeah, right. So thank you, everyone. See all of you tomorrow. Have a very good night.